Matt can't hear me.
1, 2, yeah, I've got myself now.
Good evening and welcome to John Madacey Academy, where it's for this clash in the NBL Division 1 Live against the Reading Rockets versus Leicester Warriors. Join me at half-time, where I'm joined by former Rockets captain Danny Carter for a half-time show to discuss the game as well as British basketball. Cut now to Matt Johnson on commentary with Danny now. Matt, how are we doing?
Can you hear me all right all the way down there?
Yeah, I know, it's really loud down here, Matt. I'm surrounded by slightly scared I might get hit, but it's all good, Matt. I'm ready.
If we'd rehearsed this, we could have done a NASA joke about having so many rockets around you, but...
I know, I mean, that could be an outer space right now.
we could have just got someone to throw a basketball at you or something hilarious, but yeah.
You said you've been framed, the party just hit the commentator. Like,
Yeah. Exactly. Todd, listen, looking forward to speaking to you and seeing you at half-time as well. And thanks for opening up with us for NBL1. NBL Live, here we go. All right. Thanks for that, Todd. All right, so it is my pleasure to welcome to the booth next to me, not Mark Howard, who some of you will have maybe have wished to see the pleasantries of Mark, but I'm welcoming Rockets legend and the man who puts intensity on the map. It is DC. Welcome to the booth, Danny Carter. Great to see you on your first live commentary.
It's my second one. It's my second, you know.
Second live one. So you're a veteran.
Yeah.
Danny, honestly, really good to see you here. Thank you for coming in. I know you're a teacher now, so you don't work weekends. I know all about that. But what have you been up to? Tell us what life's like now for you and what you're looking forward to.
Yeah, no, so moved on from JMA. I'm a head of PE now at a different school in Reading, which I'm absolutely loving. Love every second of it, so that's really, really fun. Being a dad.
Yeah.
Becoming a bit of a gardener as well.
That go hand in hand, yeah.
Really getting myself sorted for middle age. That's what I've really done. That's what I'm really doing well.
So you're going to keep your hand in. Obviously, you know what's going on with Rockets, and you're still very well kept in with all the sports world, as you always have been. What sorts of things have you seen from the Rockets this year that you're liking, or things that you see that are maybe moving on from, you know, when you stopped playing 25 years ago? What's catching your eye, Danny?
Well, the one thing I really noticed about the Rockets team this year is the growth that they're making as the season's gone on. You know, some of the performances early on, maybe a little less desirable than maybe wanted, and in recent weeks, you know, performance-wise, it's definitely been improving. And I think you're getting different guys show up in different games, you know, kind of picking their spots, understanding their roles, etc., stuff like that. And I think that's been a really enjoyable thing to see for me over the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, and so as a player, like, I mean, you speak to a lot of these guys anyway. Just talk to us a little bit about, you know, dealing with whether it's injury or breaks in the season or things that are like out of the norm. You know, you've had many of these over your time, but what sort of things stick out to you, things that they've had to cope with now? Yeah,
for sure. I mean, the biggest thing is understanding that it is inevitable. There's going to be breaks. You're going to get hurt. Like, I've never known anybody who's gone a whole career without pick up an injury, had to miss time, etc., stuff like that. And it's just figuring out the process of what do you need to do every single day to then kind of get a little bit better, get closer back to the day, and what you can do that you can maintain. And that's a really, really important thing is, you know, if you've got something wrong with your legs, you know, you can still lift weights on your upper body. You know, there's still things you can do, like maybe you can't run, but you can get on the bike, etc., stuff like that, you know. So there's lots of different things that you can do. And again, the quicker you kind of get into that mentality, it's easier because you have a goal at the end of it when you're going to get back.
Yeah, it's such a different time for all these players, right? You know, thinking back, we obviously watched you and worked with you for a lot of time, and the one thing that you always loved was the competition and the battle and the personal battle. Who would you like to have been battling with out there? I know you know a lot of these Leicester guys, and you've shared probably some elbows with a few of them, but who did you enjoy the battle with?
You know, like some of the guys, you know, Pearson, Martin Gale, Leon Henry, like their guys have all been around since I've been playing, but you know, I really enjoyed the challenge of, you know, going up against Mo Williams, you know. Big guy, putting up some big numbers right now. I would have loved that opportunity to pit myself against that and see if I could slow him down, you know.
That would have been a battle for the ages, I think, if you two guys going at it. And we're going to look in about a minute, at 7 minutes, we're going to look at the rosters, but is there anything about this game that kind of, the Leicester-Reading, there seems to be a really healthy competition between Carl Brown and by Coach Keane. They've been together in the national teams thing. Is there anything with the coaches that you've recognised, or anything that you think is quite interesting with the coaches? Yeah,
I think, you know, stylistically, you're going to see a Reading team that's really going to try and push the pace, you know, push the tempo, see if they can create more possessions. I think that's really, really key because, you know, a team that's coached by Carl they're going to be a bit more ground and pound. You know, they're definitely going to throw it inside to Mo Williams, and they're going to try and bleed that, and then kind of see if they get nothing early on, is then get it out to those perimeter guys and see how much they can create. You know, and you know, Reading potentially could struggle with Mo. I'm sure we've got a game plan for it. But if I'm them, I'm going to try and speed the game up as much as possible, force him to run up and down. Try and see if we get in some advantage of him trailing the play, and we've got, you know, some 3v2s, some 4v3s, and see if we can capitalise on that and kind of keep it an up-tempo game.
Yeah, I called Leicester at Nottingham Hood, and I was so impressed with him. I hadn't seen him in the flesh, and you said to me before he came on air, you know, anyone that goes to Kentucky, you know, and top schools in the States as well, he's obviously got really high-level quality. But I was quite surprised at how good his hands are as well. A lot of the big guys will often not have as good touch around the rim, but you know, you don't get 28-30 a game going that. And we're going to put up on the screen now, DC. I'm going to call out the rosters, and then after that, if you just give me a shout of who you think's going to come out. Of course, the number 4 for the Rockets is Sean Williams, 5 Reece Pinnock, 6 Ronnie Ogekwe, 7 Latrell Maitland, 8 Ben Dixon, 9 Sam Tolawese, 10 Chuck Duru, 11 Sam Grant, 12 Leon Francis, 13 Kavuvu Live, 14 Jacob Satautis, and 15, welcome to his second game, Jazz Baines, head coach by Coach Keane, with the legend Dan Lloyd as the assistant coach. That's the Rockets roster, and then we'll have a quick flash through the Leicester Warriors, and then we'll go back and have a look at some names that stick out for you. Number 4, Alan Slazor. Number 5, Ben Holland. 6, Kane King. 7, Martin Gale. 8, Alex Wilson. 9, the legend Carl Pearson, been going for a long time. 10, Ellis Haggith. 11, Lamin William. 13, Kwame Bate. 14, Daniel to Ricky. So is there any names for the Leicester group? We talked about Mo. Anyone else, and other than the ones that have you've been battling against, is there other names there that are exciting for we should be looking out for?
Yeah, I mean, definitely. I mean, Lamin Willen, number 11.
Yeah.
He's always going to be in attack mode. So if the ball's going in his hand, he's trying to get to the basket. He's going to try and make something happen, create. Mainly for himself. 85% of the time he's going there for himself to get him 2 points, and potentially at that last moment he might get someone else involved, but he's definitely someone you can't let him get going early. He's going to be tough to slow down if he gets started, but if you keep him quiet early, stylistically it's going to be more difficult for him to get back into the game.
Yeah, got you. Nice insight as well. So talk to me about the Rockets, guys. Who are you expecting performances from? Who needs performances? You've seen some of the numbers that come out on the social media, some really incredible graphics as well, which are not designed by me. You won't be surprised to know.
You don't have to tell me that.
But some of the things that the guys pulled out there on the socials team, like Sam T, but they're talking about Reece Pinnock now, like averaging 6 or 7 dimes a game. So is there stuff there that's people that you want to see or people that need to play? What are you thinking? I
mean, you always see O'Shawn and Leome in the higher scorers, etc., stuff like that, but Tolawase and Pinnock are really kind of your engine, and they're the barometer for how successful your team is going to be on all the important things that help you win games. Leome's obviously catching up with Coach Keane there. He understands he's going to have a big challenge today guarding Mo Williams. He's going to need to make sure he doesn't get into foul trouble.
Absolutely.
And that's one thing the Rockets need to. They also need to attack Mo Williams on the other end and force him to defend. And don't give him opportunity to rest on defense, because we know he's going to be bringing it on offense.
And a great insight, and I think we've seen some great minutes for some of the guys that you worked with at the academy when you were at JMA just a short time ago. And who are those guys that you've been particularly proud of? You've seen a bit of the journey of Latrell and Sam Grant particularly. Is there those guys that you're must be pleasing to see, because you want Longo since you're running up and down with them, right?
Massively, and Sam Grant is one of those players that I absolutely couldn't stand when I was still playing and he first came into practice. And so to see him develop and, contribute and start and kind of really improve as time's gone on, that's obviously been great to see. Latrell, again, has been on a massive journey and he's done fantastically well. But, for me, Jacob Satatus, just one of those people, he's just very quiet. Comes in, works every single day, gets the job done, and also knows where he's at. He won't come in and try and do anything flash. I've jinxed it now. He's going to try and do something absolutely ridiculous, but you can trust him, and I think that's really important, because when he first got here, you would never assume he'd be suiting up for Div 1 men.
And listen, I think the acid test of coach's confidence is called the minutes, right? So it's obvious that Coach Keane is trusting them. KV Live is probably playing now 8, maybe 10 minutes a game in the heat of the game. Jacob Sataut is working his way in. Sam is now frequently starting and contributing in a lot of games. Latrell getting 20 minutes a game. So there's sorts of things that I think you, as someone that's been through the club, that must feel good to you to see juniors playing, I say juniors, but young men now playing a really good role.
Massively, and like you said, I went through that, and that was middle of the 2000s that I was going through that process, and sitting on the bench and having to earn minutes, etc., stuff like that. So the fact that it still happens, we still keep it going, and it'd be really nice to see it more around the country, etc., trying to get more young people in the game and playing minutes against people like Martin Gale, against Pearson. That's really important. You know what I mean? Because they're veterans. They're going to do some savvy things today, and our young guys are going to need to be ready for that. And we just called the Rockets Ladies Division 1 game, which is all under 23 years old, and with a number of them 16, 17, 18, and you could really see the development for a lot of those young players being given the court time, being given the moment. Men's Division 1 now, and we're up to nearly 60 people, and the only comments that we've had are all about you, DC, so we're going to stop that soon, and there'll be a YouTube rule that says don't stop talking about Danny when the game's going on. Have they ever been about you?
No.
Okay.
No, never.
Jealousy doesn't look good on you.
We didn't have computers when I was playing.
That's true.
We had a BBC Micro.
And you had magazines,
Yeah. And, OK, just a few little things. Well, good to see Sam Tolawase is back in now, who missed a number of games with his armed forces service as well. So good to see him in such a... we're talking about him recently, and you mentioned the sort of veteran guys. You mentioned Martin Gale. Like, as a younger player, what what are the sort of things that they add to rosters, other than the obvious, but what are the sort of intrinsic things that people that are watching who haven't maybe played at this level? How does it help you as a young player having guys like that were willing to share some time with you?
It gives you context. And I think that's the biggest thing. And, every young player should be aspirational. Every young player should have their goal and they want to go and achieve it, whether it's the States or Europe or, playing higher in this country. And having older guys, it kind of gives you context of what it takes to get to those places. And I was very fortunate to have senior guys. I played with Lloyd Gardner, Rich Wellings.
Lloyd used to play.
Lloyd used to play. Lloyd Gardner, by the way, an outstanding passer that not many people know. Rich Wellings, they're absolutely huge for my development, because they'd been out to the States already. They kind of gave me a heads up of what it's like over there and what it's like at a higher level. And that is just completely invaluable stuff. You can't really put a price on that for a young person to hear that. And just hear those stories of what everyday life is like. Sam Grant is someone that he used to ask me about when I was at Stony Brook.
Yep.
He used to ask me every single day.
What's it like? Yeah, okay. So like you said, so giving context as well, not only just performance level, but context. And before the game tips off, we're players just coming out on the court now. We'll look at those. Most important thing to say is Sandra Minchin, and for those of you that don't know that name, you will do if you've ever had a cake or anything to eat at a Rockets game. Sandra Minchin says, "Good to see you, DC." So,
pleasure.
Yeah, I mean, she didn't send you any cakes or anything for the record, but...
Yeah, well, COVID secure, I'm glad she didn't.
Exactly, and... Okay, and here we go, guys. So we are just about ready. We've got starting fives coming out on the floor, and looks like Rockets have gone with O'Showen, Williams and Reese, Sam Tolawase, and Big Leome and Sam Grant will jump it up. And Big Mo will, of course, be taking the jump ball for Leicester, as I think the players may take a knee. And very well respected as ever. Good to see the players considering other people before they actually join in their own sport as well. And here we go. Sam Grant wins the tip and we're off and running, DC.
Be interesting to see how Leicester comes out in this first possession. Trying to get Mo Williams in. Oh, single double now.
Yeah.
Cross screen coming for. Got to do a better job on the bump. Dig down.
I mean, what a move. What a move, huh?
Brilliant move, but far too easy to get to that spot.
Yeah, and, guys, what we're going to try and do as well is we'll pin it for three in the corner, just a bit long. Sam Grant,
good effort, Sam Grant.
There you go. And that's something I think you could keep an eye out for. It's a developing part of Sam's game, isn't it? He's known as an offensive threat, shooter, finisher, done a really good job. But now, offensive rebounding has been a real thing for him. This cross screen's an interesting one, DC. Maybe we can get that on the whiteboard later on.
And that's a much better job, forcing Mo Williams high, not getting into that low post spot. Straight away they had to go into a ball screen. But unfortunately we didn't get the pick and roll coverage on the second one right.
Yeah. Ball to Leome, reverses it through Sam to O'Showen. O'Showen looking at the one-on-one against Pearson, goes inside to Leome.
Has to attack here. Great job. Great job.
Yeah. DC, just what you said, right? You were saying before the game that for Rockets to be successful, they're going to have to make Mo Williams defend. I didn't see who they called that one on. Was that on, Mo? You'd have thought someone of your skills would have known that, Danny.
Old age.
Yeah. And as Leome shoots the first one, Leicester doing a really good job in their first two offences, getting a really high percentage shots as well, the shots they want, first two possessions.
Yeah, I think Rockets just needed to be a little bit more physical on those opening sequences to force guys just to, half a foot off their spots.
Yep, and we're nearly up to 90 viewers and good ball pressure by O'Showen, and that's not something that we saw earlier on in O'Showen's time here with us. That's definitely come straight out of practice.
Can you do the backside of the post?
Wow. I mean, what a target. Great pass by Martin Gale as well.
Brilliant pass.
Tolawase in transition. Tolawase with a big move. Big, strong move.
And that's just a really clever job by Sam there, realising he's got a massive size advantage over Martin.
Yeah.
And realising there's no backside help.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we've got, just for Mark Hurwood, for you to know as well, Bernard is with us, and you'll be seeing more of his work as we go through. As Leon Henry drops a triple. Reese comes right back at him for 3.
And this is the thing, this is what we said, trying to speed up the game, get more possessions, and let's see how long they can continue this shot-making ability. This is perfect right here, though.
Yeah, absolutely. And you also got there, like, the coaches amongst us watching the stream are all saying, get Big Mo into defence, make him in ball screen defence. So let's keep an eye on that, see if that's something that Coach Keen's looking for right as we said it. There it goes.
There
and
you
Williams.
go. There you go.
Williams, who's 3 foot smaller than Mo Williams, goes by him, explodes the rim and lays it up. Something that we've seen a lot more of him recently.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Same side help. You don't want to try and avoid that.
And Pearson just muscles Leo out the way, bobbles to him, and makes it.
And that right there with Sam, that's just a mental lapse sort of thing. You don't want to try and help ball side off the corner.
Yeah.
There's a wide open shot, and then everyone's out of rebounding position.
Yeah, Pinnett looks at another one, doesn't get it to drop.
Good job, Sam. It's 2 now.
Yes, Sam.
2 now. He's got his hand on.
Yeah. So we're looking at Martin Gale with another one. And this is the thing about Division 1. The standard in this division is so good.
Yeah. Great job by Sam again. Didn't get that one to go.
What a move.
Brilliant
16 points in 4 minutes, DC. Anything that you're going to see Coach Keen's, are you going to think timeout soon? Are we going to see anything different? What are you feeling?
I think we'll see how this possession goes here, but if I'm those Rockets guys on defense, I don't want to go to that timeout.
Yeah, absolutely. Coach Carl Brown there got his thumbs up. Also nursing a bit of a foot injury himself, I think. Sam Grant nearly getting another piece on one. And
great job.
Pinnett comes up with it.
Great job.
Good defense. Good to see Rockets up the court as well.
And this also as well, we're reducing time now that they can throw it down in the post to Mo Williams by trying to extend.
Yeah, absolutely. And here comes Sam Grant.
Great job.
Backcourt. Yeah. Referee Tim Brown doing his, must be his millionth game in Division 1, you think?
Yeah, I mean, Tim used to ref my junior games, so.
Wow. Yeah, wow.
If there was a Hall of Fame, he definitely needed to be in it.
Yeah, absolutely. Good to see. Slightly different this week now for those that have just caught the previous stream before. 3 refs, men's Division 1. Much better for the game as well. And
this right here, Leon just wants to kind of stay a little bit spaced.
I mean, yeah, absolutely. And you know what? Look at that. It's Sam T. Timeout. Oh, hello. Coach not happy.
No.
KB not happy at all.
And I don't blame him. There's a lot of Leicester players just standing still, just heavy on their feet. Need to be a bit more down in the stance, a bit more mobile, and kind of moving as the possession kind of moves each side of the floor there.
Yeah. I mean, what are we allowed to say a blistering start? Because that's a commentator's horrible word, isn't it? But it was, in terms of, we've got 31 points between them in like 4.5 minutes.
Yeah, I mean,
we're not going to keep this pace up, are we?
Potentially. I mean, if I was playing in this game, I'd be furious.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's not how I should play the game.
I'm sure Mo's not very happy at the moment, Big Mo.
And this is the thing, that this is, Rocket speeding the pace up. This kind of just fits straight into their game plan of trying to make sure he's getting up and down, trying to make sure that, we're kind of always playing with an advantage sort of thing and trying to force him on the other end. But, they're very guard-heavy, Leicester, so I wouldn't be surprised if we kind of continue this pace up. Now, the shot-making ability, I hope it continues.
Yeah. I mean, wow. I mean, wherever you look, any basketball you look at now across the world, DC, like, people are making shots. It seems like there's been a lid just been opened up on a skill set that 25 years was reduced to maybe 2 guys on each team as the quote-unquote shooter. But, you know, something that's, you know, you've seen that in your playing days, that it's really opened the game up, hasn't it?
Massively. And awareness and accessibility to everything now is so much easier.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
You know, whereas, you know, it used to be a skill and an art. And the way the game has gone as well, it's like if you can't really shoot, you're struggling really for game time.
Yeah, it's become a necessity.
Brilliant defense.
Yeah, Williams has picked the pocket.
Brilliant defense.
King. And I'm wondering, DC, if this is something that Coach Keane is starting to really put the hammer down on about the way that we play defensively. Because it does seem to be something that in the chat and on the socials people are picking up on. Coach Titmus, actually, you know, you're... Oh, Martin Gale with another one.
You need to sort that ball screen coverage out. It's too easy.
Yeah. Tolawese finds a showing.
Here he
Sam
is.
with the extra one.
Here he is.
Yeah, and that's the one he's going to make, isn't it? That's the one he's going to make next time.
He's definitely got to take it.
Yeah. And we've just left Leon Henry.
So since the timeout, we've had one layup and a few...
yeah, well, that's what happens. Welcome to the commentary booth, DC. You've just ruined all the shooting stats. And I'm going to jump into the comments. That's where Mark Harewood generally lives, but he's saying great job to all the team on the new graphics and stuff like that. Only Mark sees that sort of stuff. GP says quality stream once again. Rockets guys, so thank you for that. Just jump in and tell us what you're thinking. And we've got Coach Greg. This is his second game with us today. So he's obviously enjoying a good day of basketball.
Absolutely.
And he says that Leo needs to at least think about an outside shot. I'll get you thinking on that one soon, DC, because, oh, wow. Wow.
Great job, Sam Grant.
So let me just ask you this, if we can get this in between plays. Leo needs to think about an outside shot. He needs to make one, then he's bringing Williams out of the paint when he goes inside. What do you think?
I wouldn't rush in. Personally, I wouldn't rush into that because right now Williams is playing so static defensively.
Yeah.
He's kind of really just trying to stay in the lane. How athletic Leomi is. Try and get, you know, head down on a speed. Like in this position here, potentially look at, you know, attacking him one-on-one.
Yeah. Sam Grant with the flex.
Brilliant job.
Sam Grant with the flex. His mum will be thrilled if she's watching this.
That movement as well by him, like right there.
Yeah.
Right there. A couple of years ago, he's sprinting to the corner.
On the screen as well.
He's sprinting to the corner.
Yeah.
You know, 2 years ago, and whereas now he's a little bit more confident in kind of going in and trying to take some contact.
Yeah, and you know, for all you guys that are joining us for the first time as well, you'll enjoy the replays as well. You can see us showing the breakdown.
Right there.
Little great timing, good dump pass. And there you see Sam with a tough finish and goes to the line for the and one. I know I'm old, but you shouldn't wear pink shoes.
I also don't know what he's flexing, but I'm glad he's done it.
And he makes the +1.
Great job.
Yeah, and Mark Harewood saying the same thing. Loving Sam G on the board. And into the game is Jazz Baines. Rockets' first team foul. So Ashowan Williams has gone out after about 8 steals.
Yeah. And it's always tough for a player to come in when the tempo of the game is this fast.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
It's so hard to be sitting the first 6.5 minutes, sub in, and the game's already at 100 miles per hour.
Yeah, absolutely. And here's Reece Pinnock on the ball. Leon fronting.
And this is brilliant. This is brilliant.
And Sam T is off and gone, and there goes Pinnock. He's found Jazz for the first touch and nails a three in the corner. Straight out off the bench. Defensive stop. Corner three. And Danny, that's exactly what people can expect to see from Jazz. So is there anything that we should be looking at? Should Leicester change that? Would that change on the scout?
I think right now that they want to kind of concentrate on not giving away the ball so easily because they've always got people on the back foot then. Yeah,
and then a little one-legger as well, DC.
That's how you want to sub into a game.
Timeout to Leicester. Well, so DC, give us a little rundown then. This is the second timeout. So Coach Carl Brown has called his second timeout. Hasn't got any more left now in the half. What's your thinking on that? Too early, maybe?
I mean, the last time a timeout's called, it's 16-15 to Leicester.
Yeah.
He's now in a position where he's down 9.
Yeah.
You know, and that's just gone in a matter of minutes. And I think, one, they're being a bit too loose with the ball.
Yeah.
They need to be a lot tighter with that. They're playing too deep with a team that's pressing you. They've got no release valve, and I think that's an adjustment that they need to make. And also just being a bit more patient. The first couple of buckets that Williams got, he got it because he buried the guy, or he got him on the front side and got a nice pass over. There's too much movement of him dancing around right now. He just needs to get to a low spot. If he gets it, he doesn't. If not, go into a pick and roll, and that's where he's going to be really dangerous, rolling to the basket.
Yeah. And Coach Josh Thorne, Julie Grant says new shoes. I think that's, unless they delivered the wrong colour, Julie, I really think I'm slightly worried about that. Unless you ordered them for your daughter, maybe. Is that what's happened?
I heard the daughter's the better athlete, so.
And then, there you go. The 89 show says Northamptonshire Titans alum and low knees all over this game. Absolutely. And, you know, it's not something that we do well enough, I don't think, in basketball. It's really talking about Jacob Satautas and Sam Grant and obviously Leo, all Northamptonshire-based guys, and a load of the Leicester Warriors as well. And what a great job a lot of these junior clubs are doing. So, sorry, DC, I missed that one. We've got into the game. So going out, Reece Pinnock takes a breast, and in comes Latrell, also in pink shoes, I've noticed, Maitland. We're not going to make a thing about this, but Latrell comes straight in.
And straight away, and this is what I said before the game, Lammin straight away into attack mode.
Yeah,
Don't
absolutely.
be surprised again here.
There it goes.
There you go.
Straight away. DC, you can come back again. You're much better than Mark.
Wouldn't be hard.
Tolawezi to answer with the three. Boom! You know, and I'm going to say, Tolawezi does so many good things for our club.
Absolutely.
And as he just makes a three and then covers defensively a Leon Henry drive at him. But just does things at the right time. Oh, here we go. Oh, we've got Northampton. Lift off! Francis. Great defence by Rockets. Francis takes off and finishes it.
And the difference there, that's the best that Leon defended that pick and roll.
Yeah, okay.
Got out nice and high, gave himself, put more pressure on the ball handler, and straight away he was able to lead because we got a turnover out of it.
Oh, Sam let that one go early.
And again, here's Lammin, he's coming down again in attack mode, straight to the basket.
Yeah, absolutely. 5 points in about 10 seconds, DC, right?
And that's where you got to know your scout a little bit. You got to know that that's what he's going to do. He's done it for years.
Baines for another one. Slaps 5 with a Sherwin Williams on the bench. And Rockets have gone from an 8-point deficit to a 12-point lead, and have put the stoppers on this Leicester Warriors team.
Lammin.
Other than Lammin, who's decided not to shoot that one. Maybe you've worried him, DC.
If he touches it again, I guarantee.
Yeah,
that right there just can't happen.
Yeah.
2 dribbles and he's out the basket and no one trying to stop him.
Yeah.
Good post up by Sam there.
And there was the person calling for the Leon. The perimeter shot didn't go, and Lammin to the basket, gives up. So Sam with the foul into the last 50 seconds. Disappointing for them there.
And again, it's another scout breakdown. We've on offense and defense. The shot by Sam, the shot by Leon, it's rushed. We don't need to do it just yet.
Yeah,
and again, right here, no one steps up. He beats Sam. No one steps up. You can't fake it. You've got to go stop the ball. Put your body on the line, take a charge, or a hard enough foul that he's not going to make an and one.
Yeah, and we'll talk a little bit at the end of the first break about shot quality, about what are the sort of shot quality that Leicester are looking for, what equates to a good or great shot for them, and similarly then for the Rockets. So as we see, KV jumped in the game as well, and Ben Dixon coming in for 50 seconds to end this quarter.
And this is something on the floor, your floor voices, your floor leaders. That's what you need to be saying to guys. Hey, come on, tempo. All right, let's think about the shots we're taking. Let's think about what we're trying to achieve here.
Yeah. Good rebound there, covered. Sherwin Williams back in. Baines.
Baines. You got to take the first
decided not
one.
to shoot that one. Kicks it out. Sherwin looks at one, likes it, rims out. Oh, great effort on the glass by young KV. He won't have fought someone the size of Mo Williams.
And absolutely, you know, and KV.
And there's the guard pressure. and it's great defence.
Brilliant job, great trap.
Yeah. And not only is it the trap, DC, but it now gives Rockets the last shot. So they've got a chance to go up to what feels like about 5 quarters that we've played. At the end of the first, could well be that Rockets go in, they should get the last shot here and could go up 10 or 11.
Absolutely. And again, you know, that's a great trap.
Yeah.
Because the sideline and the baseline, they're extra defenders. They never make a mistake, and they're always where you need them to be.
Yeah. Satya, nice to see you. And your comment, good to see Sam Grant going on, playing a few minutes ago.
Going a little bit early here. Going a little bit early.
Seconds.
Now we want to go. KV wants to try and run into that if he can.
Oh, no contact there, ref. But Latrell just misses
Great
it.
effort by KV trying to push on the board.
Yeah, and Lamin throws one up at the end, but it was after the buzzer.
And a little bit too static there by Rockets at the end. You know, too much standing around and trying to make something happen. Try and be a bit more dynamic, get some movement going into that ball screen.
So let's have a quick throw to you about shot quality. If you're Leicester now in the first quarter, are you thinking you're going to have that's gone well? You know, is that something that's really good for you?
I mean, before the press started, shot quality was really good, and they made those shots. So if I'm going in, I'm saying if I'm a Leicester Warriors player, let's sort out this press. Let's get the press break sorted, because we know when we get good shots, we're making them right now. But the problem is we're losing possessions and we're taking rush shots because one, they're pressing us, we can't break it. So when we do run offense, we've got half the time anyway. If not, we're turning the ball over and we're constantly just inbounding the ball again, going into the same dilemma. And I think that's something they need to really figure out right now.
And so we're talking about the Rockets are on for 35 points in a quarter. That's a lot of points. So they're on for 140. I mean, this is like an NBA game right now. But if you're Coach Keane down there, are you talking about the quality of your offense? Are you talking about defense? You've given up. Leicester are on for, you know, over 100 themselves. So what's your feeling there? Like, what's the coach's discussion?
Again, I would touch on offense, and again, the same thing. The earlier shots we were taking, and when we hit that run, we were getting good shots. We were taking good quality shots, and then momentum kind of takes over, and you end up taking a few rush ones. You know, maybe one that's contested. It doesn't need to be contested. There's one more pass. I'd just say to them, just get back to that. Just get back to the moving the ball, taking those open shots, and defensively, you know, defenders a unit. Right now, we're very individual. We're not getting guys help, and we need to communicate a little bit better. And like I said, when Leon defends the ball screen well, we had a really good outcome. Right, he gets the other end and gets a dunk. When we don't defend the ball screen well, we're giving them really good shots. You know, and I think that's something that if you tighten up that ball screen once we break out, and I think Rockets going to be a really good situation to, you know, not be giving up 27 a quarter.
Okay, good insight, DC. And we're going to be starting the second quarter. And looks like we've lost one of the shot clocks from the far end for some reason.
Right now, with this game, we don't need them.
Yeah, you're not wrong there. We'll have a look at that at half-time. We'll get the tech team in. I don't know what that means. This means we'll turn it all off and on again. Okay, and here we go. Second quarter starts with the same group that finished. Latrell with a turnover. Recovers it. Ball will be first possession from Rockets was thrown away. And now the Warriors will have a chance. As KV keeps his spot on the floor against Big Mo.
Brilliant job by KV.
Yeah. And called for the foul.
Tough.
Big Mo using his experience, telling the refs.
I've never really commented on refs in my career. I've never really spoken about them. But if I was in that moment, I'd be asking that might be, can I have a little bit more contact on that one?
If you wouldn't mind awfully.
Yeah. See, there's no backside for KV right now.
I mean,
and that's the issue. We're too worried about our guys instead of focusing on what the threat is and where the ball is.
And Latrell got his fingertips on that one as well. O'Showen likes to look at that one and makes it.
Great job.
And I think Coach Carl Brown will be frustrated at that because he was at the last game as well and saw O'Showen make a bunch of those shots.
Yeah.
Oh, good hands. Oh, wow. KV
yes,
gets a touch on
KV,
it.
great job.
Jazz is out and running.
And just before that, great rotation by Baines.
Yeah, and look out below. Showen. Oh, what a tip by Lamin. And just such brave following up from Lamin there.
And Leicester will play the same way, up 20, down 20. And that's what Rockets can't fall into. Great job. Great job.
KV with, that wasn't a travel, by the way, for any of you watching. If you thought that was, it's the camera sped up. And great finish by KV. DC, what's the advantage of this lineup that we've got, where we've got Rockets have got 4 guys that have played like point guard, 1 and 2. Is there an advantage to this? And now that's similar when Pinnock comes in.
I think absolutely, especially when you're trying to play a game where you have so many possessions. Anybody that grabs a rebound now can push it, and then you're just kind of playing out of that. And I think that's really, really helpful.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see what we do here. KV's now on 2 against Williams. I'm sure we'll try and leave him out there to get a 3rd one.
Yeah.
Great job, Latrell.
Yeah, and O'Showen in the corner. Does he like that one as well? He does. Great effort by KV on another.
Great rebound.
Young guys really getting after the rebounds. O'Showen Williams.
Rockets need to be careful here. We're not even 2 minutes in. We're our third foul.
Yep. Is that something you think that Coach King's going to be using? Because he's got a much deeper bench than perhaps he had before. You're looking at the guys that already played. He's played 8, 9 guys already. 9 guys who had really healthy minutes. Coach Keane on the other side of the floor marshalling his troops as Rockets put a bit of the heat on. Lamin now is an interesting one-on-one. Much bigger Lamin. Yeah,
great job by Reese, and that's the difference right there. And he got on the backside of Williams. Again, don't need to rush that. Yeah, because this is what happens. Lamin's in attack mode.
Yeah, and you're going to see. Yeah, this is your point, isn't it, DC? Lamin, he's got going downhill. Dixon is trying to get in position.
But it all stems from a quick shot.
Yeah,
I think that Latrell maybe needs to wait and kind of move the ball and get that one back and shoot it. Yeah. But it just sends someone like Lamin off, and that's he wants to live off that.
I'm going to say this. You're going to love this. Coach Greg is just saying tempo's cool, controls better. As Lamin shoots a pair, makes the first one. So I'm going to say that to you again in a minute. I'll ask you for an intelligent comment about it. But I like that. Thanks, Coach Greg. As nearly up to 150 of you.
I was always about trying to slow the game down.
Lamin looks good on the free throw line, doesn't he? I don't think he's touched the rim yet. So, yeah, you're right, Coach Greg. Tempo, 7-point game. As O'Showen, what a pass. What a pass. And great catch by Francis as well. The pass was good. The hands were better.
And a brilliant block.
Yeah, absolutely. Sub. Back into the game comes Tolawase.
And this is where Leomi right here. This is it right there. Thinking about the alignments. Can he just pop quickly, get Williams to stay inside, and then see if he can get a shot, see if he can get someone attacking to the rim?
Yeah, yeah.
Right there.
Right there. Oh, DC.
And this is the thing. Just catch and be patient.
Oh, do you know what? That's so annoying, isn't it? Pinnock's flying. Oh, he's
got it.
Pinnock with the chase down block. What timing. Just as Mark Hurwood says, this is the first time I've seen the Rockets guys all get after defensively, collectively.
Put it on the highlight reel.
Yeah, and absolutely. And when we see this chase down, great slow-mo replay.
He's not even in the picture at first.
And Pinnock takes off.
I mean,
wow.
I'm sorry, but if I'm the Leicester player,
yeah,
you need to go a little bit harder than that.
Yeah, absolutely. But you're not. You didn't realise that.
And this is the one right here. Be patient, Leo. Yeah. See what's in front of you.
And he's found Dixon on the baseline, who's just gone out of bounds. So we'll chalk that one off.
And that's the adjustment. I think Leoman, when he catches that one, he knows Williams isn't going to come out to him.
Yeah.
Either, that's where you want to maybe take your perimeter shot or get him on the back foot and attack him, because he's not going to move his feet to stay in front.
Yeah. good time also to say, DC, that you're going to be staying in up here in the booth, and at half time we're going to do, so stay with us guys at half time, where Todd Lindley is going to be doing an interview with DC and talking all things GB basketball and British basketball and career and all other stuff that's kind of cool. So just stay with us at half-time as Leicester shave this back to 5, and Martin Gale is back in and scoring. And
that's what he does. That's what he does. And this is what I mean for Rockets. Leicester aren't going to change.
Yeah.
Up 20, down 20, they're going to be playing the same way. So if we're going to start playing the scoreboard and getting a little bit lax, these are the things that are going to happen.
Yeah, and we talked about it, didn't we, that in the first 10 minutes, Rockets have 35, and now they've scored 5 points in 3 minutes. So, you know, is that Leicester defence? Is it poor shot selection by Rockets? Is it just the game flow, DC? Has anything changed that you've seen? Now back to a 3-point game.
I think us fouling and slowing the tempo of the game down hasn't helped us at all. You know, and you know, KV got 2 soft ones. He's got a big bat on his hand. Williams is brilliant inside player.
Yeah.
But you know, we now have to play tentatively because they're going to be shooting free throws the rest of the way out.
Yeah.
And I think that's definitely something that you're conscious about when you are playing. So maybe you do kind of take a foot off the gas, but you've still got to be able to play intense and quick, because that's where our advantage is right now.
So it's interesting, isn't it, in the team foul situations right now, that Rockets have fouled 4 times, or I think maybe the 5th, in the same period of time where Leicester have only had 1. So that probably telling us that Rockets are shooting a lot. We're a really perimeter-based team. It'd be good to see them really attacking the basket first. I think one of the comments was, when you drive, you need to know what's next rather than just driving, but driving to score and forcing Leicester to foul you. And then and we'll give you some stats as well when we get the live stats coming in about the amount of free throws that both teams have taken, because that's always another good example of, you know, when you're slowing down the pace a little bit, and you need to be able to score from both areas of the floor, free throw line and the floor. Back in the game, Pinnock reverses it through Tolawese to Dixon. He attacks. Dixon comes in, and nothing called there. Good hands by Leicester. Nice out of bounds, straight out the timeout. Welcome to 162 of you enjoying the game.
Good. Tough one.
And again, Dixon, no call there, and ends up with a Mo Williams dunk.
Transition defense does need to be something the Rockets sort out right now. They've had quite a lot of stuff going downhill, especially here in the second quarter.
Yeah, and interesting right there, Sam Tolawese fancying that matchup against the smaller point guard Pearson, but just fumbled it out of bounds. Kane King handing the ball, Pearson. Martin Gale looking at the ball screen. Tough one.
And this again, like right now, we're going to have mismatch because we didn't do a good enough job on the initial ball screen.
Yeah, and there you go.
Now that it is, that's where it is.
Yeah, but
great job by Tolawese.
Pinnock at 300 miles an hour. Oh, 2 shots. DC, I talked a little bit about this, about young players playing with pace, and we see Pinnock. That's not just being a sprinting athlete, is it? Why is it so difficult as a defender when you've got someone that is so direct? Like, what changes for you?
With Reece as well, though, like, he's deceivingly strong, you know, so he might look a little bit more wiry, etc., but he's a very strong guy.
Yeah.
So when he's getting his head down and he's finding his gaps and his seams, he knows where he's going, sort of thing. So as a defender, you know you're on the back foot. You don't want to start that contact because he's heading towards you, so, you know, he's got much more momentum. Yeah. And I think that's where you just need to be a bit more savvy as a defender and just big up, get your arms up. If he makes it over the top of you, just take your hat off to him.
Yeah. Interesting. Pinnock missed the first one, missed the second one. Well, so interesting group now with Tolawese. Tolawese switched.
Oh.
Foul called. Tolawese guarding Mo Williams. So interesting for Coach Keane to do that. Tolawese gets his second foul. And this is something that I've been quite interested in for a number of years, looking at it. Do you have your best defense? How do you your best defender is not always the same height as the best offensive player.
No.
So we'll just give Kane a moment of quiet there. Missed the first one. Not a good minute for free throw shooters at the moment. So Tolawezi, we were talking about as one of prime elite level defenders, is able to guard nearly anyone.
Absolutely.
So how do you turn over? Clumsy play. Can Rockets end up with something out of this?
And a bit of fatigue kicking in now. The tempo of the game. Sam Graham.
Air ball.
That's the one as a coach. You are really frustrated with that. That is just very, very silly to do. They are going to just walk down court.
Yeah,
we take the opportunity had 2 more points.
Yeah, and nearly up to 170 on the stream. Great to see you all as Kane gets another look at a pair of free throws and back rims that one. Rockets will be frustrated to have given up a lead after they clawed back a 8-point deficit, went up by 10, were looking as though they're going further ahead, and now looks as though they could be down 1 with 5 to go. So what a game of swing so far. Tolawezi just getting blocked by Big Mo.
And again, we just rushed offense when we just don't need to.
Yeah. And Martin Gale's
don't
miss many of those ones. Let's see if...
There shouldn't be long left on the shot clock.
4 seconds to go. 3, 2, 1. Oh, a giant hook. You like that, DC. I
Brilliant move.
And that puts Warriors up 3.
Rockets need to play with a bit more urgency there.
Yeah, and getting it to the 1 second mark and allowing Big Mo for that.
Absolutely.
Baines comes off the down screen. That's just cash money right now for Jazz Baines.
Brilliant execution.
Yeah. But
transition defense again.
Yeah, there's the frustration, isn't it? Where the ball against, especially against such a Pinnock, looks at one again, an early one. Foul called. Sherwin Williams, that'll be his second, I think. And Coach Keane will just be frustrated about the types of mistakes, Danny, rather than the actual mistakes. When you're in team fouls, you've got 4 minutes to go. Your leading scorer in the group gets his second foul, but not only that, gives them another 2 free throws. That'll be 6 free throws in a row.
And I think that the biggest thing here, all these mistakes are coming from bad offense. And then giving away a silly foul, and they just need to. We just see Baines, we execute, we get a wide open shot, and he makes it.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
And I think we just need to have a little bit more composure, run some offense sort of thing, get some guys in the spots where they need to be, and then go from there instead of trying to rush so many things. The tempo of the game's absolutely dropped off.
Yeah, right. We just saw Rockets on a really beautiful offensive set. They get the shot they really like.
Absolutely.
After a lot of broken play. So what we're talking about, the kind of poor shot selection that you brought up. So as a player, what's going into that? Is that on the floor leadership? Is that just personal responsibility of guys need to just actually know what they do well and just wait a second longer, or is it from the coaches, or is it a bit of everything? Is it the moment? Is it just get a bit excited?
I think it's a combination of it. I think Rockets are still trying to play at the pace that got them the run, but the game's changed. And we're being quite slow to adjust to how the game's changed.
Yeah.
I think the main thing here is someone needs to step up and be a leader and say, hold on, give me the ball, get to your spots, now we're going to run offense. Yeah, until that happens, we're going to carry on making these mistakes. Yeah,
interesting, isn't it? Because Rockets have primarily on the floor 3 out-and-out guards that can play the 1 and the 2. Tolawezi can play the 1 through 10. And again, Sam, they've got a lot of skilled practitioners on the floor, but they will need someone, you're right, to control tempo and pace.
And a massive frustration as well is Williams has played the whole game for Leicester.
Yeah,
we're not
he's in a short time out, but not long. Yeah,
but we're not putting pressure on him.
Yeah,
and he's able to hide. He's able to rest on defense right now. And I think we need to be a bit more savvy in how we're going to attack the basket.
Yeah, interesting. So let's see what's come out of this timeout now. For Grant gets a wide open one from the top, just a bit too strong. Good looking shot for Sam as well. That's one that he can make.
But that's a good shot. We don't make it, but that's a good shot.
Yeah, and as ever, Mark Harewood will give you the real insight into the game, saying he's pleased that the referees have matched their hair colour with their vest colour.
This is why I've been drafted in.
So thanks for that, Mark. Some of the insight analysis. Okay, Rockets up the floor still. And that big ball screen. And foul called.
Tough one. Tough one.
Yeah, it's frustrating, isn't it? Yeah, okay, chalked it off. Danny, and I want you to talk us through what just happened there.
Well, it looked like a foul was called, which was questionable, and VAR has had a look at it.
VAR, brilliant.
And they've realised that the offence was wrong, and they've brought it back.
Great stuff. Great stuff. We like that. Okay, small lineup now for Rockets. So Chuck Dura comes in at the 4. So we're now really perimeter orientated group against Big Mo. Kicks it out.
One
Chuck
more.
finds Jazz.
Brilliant job.
And yeah, nice offense. So Coach Keane will be happy with that. You get your best three-point shooter, a wide open one.
Absolutely.
And can they? Oh,
dig,
what a move!
dig.
What a move! Yeah, I mean,
and this is the problem. You're leaving him on an island right now. When he catches it, you've got to swarm towards him.
Yeah. Offensive foul against Williams. That's his 3rd. Coach will make the sub.
Also, was that needed at that moment for the ebb and flow of the game? We've done a really good job of running some offense, getting some wide open looks. Their defense is set.
Yeah.
You're driving towards something that it's not there, truthfully.
Yeah,
and this is where we need to be a bit more savvy.
Right, so you've talked a lot about player choice. Leicester makes some changes as well.
Yeah, Tariki looks like he's come into the game.
Yeah. So Big Mo's getting a bit of a rest.
And this is where, if I'm Liam, I'm thinking I'm going to bury my guy in the post and get myself an easy 2 next time down on offense.
Yeah.
Tolawese active there.
Yeah, Pearson has handled the ball against many a top-level guard.
And you
years.
don't want to get too close to Pearson because he will spin off you. He will be able to use his strength against you.
Big 3.
Got to rebound that. Got to rebound. Put a body on him.
Yeah, so... Oh, nice pass back door.
Confusion on the floor.
Yeah, I think foul called. So that foul on Leon Francis. That's his 1st foul. Rockets trailing by 5. Going into the last 3 minutes.
Seems to be some sort of phantom calls going on right now. .35, I think it was in the first quarter for Rockets, and I think 8 now.
Yeah,
coming
you're right.
in.
Interesting, DC, and we talked about this in the women's game earlier. Like the game can completely change with some small things happening. So, got Baines coming off a stagger, Tolawese the other side, inside to Chuck, doubled by Pearson, turned over by Chuck, and here come the Warriors. Leon. Just in the way.
And this is the problem. When we're throwing it to them and they're in transition, it's so hard to stop them because this is what they want to play like, you know. We're not forcing them to play on the other end right now.
Yeah, absolutely. And 2 more free throws for the Warriors as they continue their free throw
And if I'm, Coach Brown, I'm probably frustrated at the amount of points that Leicester have left at the line.
Yeah, well, we'll have a look at that at half-time.
There's another miss.
Yeah, and, 7-point game. Rockets could be down 10 now, really, on the last 2 minutes of free throws. And interesting, were people in the chat saying that, Rockets' offense looks as though it's not really getting what they need to get. And it's ended up with a stagnant one-on-one. Leo attacking.
There you go. Much better. But composure and patience.
Yeah,
and I agree. I think the offense looks very weak right now because we're not setting screens. We're running past each other. And again, you've got to be willing to put your body on the line and hit someone.
Yeah. And unfortunately,
too easy.
If you are going to leave Martin Gale open like that, he is going to knock down shots. That is what Martin Gale does. So 176 of you dialed in, and thank you for all your comments and all the things. And in 2 minutes, stay around for half-time, listening to Todd, head of our marketing and comms, Todd Lindley, speak to DC a bit more depth, talk a bit more about the game and what we want to see a bit more of, and also talk about other stuff, GB basketball and some other great stuff that's been going on.
And the issue with the screen here is Leon needs to be more patient and allow for his guy to be screened. Chuck's going there to try and put a body on his guy, and he's already moving. Just wait for that screen to come.
Great one for them to look at, isn't it, in the post game when they're looking at how we're using this screen effectively, I think. Absolutely. Is what I'm hearing you saying.
Because Leon's just trying to get to the spot he likes instead of seeing where the advantage is. And I think that's what he needs to do to maybe take his game to the next step.
Gale wide open, and again, good rebound. Challenged by Warriors into the last minute. Leon going straight to the rim and gets 1-1. I mean, so strong. I think we've seen this from Francis as well, DC, during the season. We've seen him just do some stuff that really gives the offense a little tick,
Absolutely.
Just something, a little bit of extra sprinkle that, maybe someone else can't do.
Absolutely, and,
In comes Dixon.
Coach Brown's reaction to that defense right there was he wasn't best pleased, let's put it that way.
Yes, and Dixon comes in for Chuck. And Leo's got 2 free throws to cut this lead down of the Warriors. As in comes Lamin. So we know we've got some offense coming from Leicester.
And again, can we make the adjustment now that when he gets the ball, he's going to be in attack mode? Are we making those adjustments?
Yeah. We've got 1 shot to come. Refs just organising that. Leicester with their smallest lineup. Without either of the bigs in.
Be interesting to see how they use Haggett right now.
Yeah. Well, and Dixon on Lamin.
Got to get below the ball. Got to get below the ball.
And there's Haggith, just like you said. And Leicester.
But that all stems from not sprinting back.
Yeah.
Lamin's able to just be one guy. We don't have guys behind the ball and he gets into the paint.
Yeah, and look at that. Smallest guy on the floor. And turnover as well. And a tough couple of moments here for Rockets.
They want to go quickly. They want to go quickly. They've kind of really slowed it down too much here.
Lamin.
Looking to attack.
7 seconds to go.
There he is.
Pulled up on the baseline. Who's going to come up with that one? Leome's got it.
Now composure.
Yeah, 2 on 2 is the numbers. Into the last 20 seconds. Rockets want to take the last shot. Down 7.
Now, can we make an improvement from how we were in the first quarter right here?
Yeah, interested to see who gets this last shot, DC.
Absolutely. Good job. Good job. Need to attack here.
Yeah, Dixon gets fouled on that one.
Silly, silly mistake there.
Nathan Thorndike, DC, giving you a big shout out.
Oh, the boy Nate, top man.
I don't know when you do a shout out, if you actually have to shout, do you? Or you just mention it?
I think you and me are way past knowing information like that.
I suppose if someone said a mention out to, it doesn't quite sound as cool, does it?
Were there any hashtags? Because I know that's a cool thing.
Dixon makes them. No, there's been. Mark Howard put some flames after Jazz Baines' name.
He's found the emojis. I like it.
We've also found Nessa G says, yeah, Leome, and then like a muscly arm. You know that one? Like a Popeye arm.
Good. Slow down the ball here.
Yeah, 2 seconds. And okay, so DC, we're gonna take a break here in a minute. What's your quick thoughts on that first half? We're going to talk to Todd Lindley in a second, but something you're going to look forward to in the second half?
Absolutely. And if you're Coach Keane, you're going to tell the Rockets, Leicester aren't changing. They are exactly what they say on the tin, and they're coming to attack you, sort of thing. And I think Rockets needs to do a better job adjusting of when things are going well. Absolutely, keep those things going. When they stop going well, what do you got to do? You've got to stop, you've got to slow the game down, you've got to execute. You've got to sort out transition defense. When you've got those two things right, the game's going to absolutely change. Yeah.
Okay, great thoughts on the first half from DC as the players go and get a well-earned rest, and they'll be definitely Lucas-aiding it up and whatever else they're doing. And I will be joining you back for the third quarter in about 10 minutes, but enjoy the halftime show with Todd Lindley and DC.
Good evening, everyone. Todd Lindley here, joined by Danny Carter, former Rockets captain. Danny, that was a terrific first half, back and forth all the time. Can I just get your thoughts on the first half?
Yeah, absolutely. Entertaining, end-to-end stuff. And I think, for the neutral, that is just the kind of game that you want to switch on and you want to watch, sort of thing. If you're a Rockets fan, you're probably thinking it's going to be a good, easy night to begin.
After that first quarter,
absolutely. And then,
flying out the blocks. It was completely amazing. We saw loads of threes from Jazz Baines coming off the bench as well as O'Shea.
Absolutely. And you know what? And I just, hopefully we can get back to that a little bit in the third quarter. It got a little bit slower, but maybe a bit of fatigue from such a high scoring first quarter.
Absolutely. You can see it's the high intensity game. It may be drawing on the players. Also, it's a massive thing to have Mo Williams in the side. He's continuing to dominate NBL Div 1 with 12 points and 5 rebounds in the first half alone. What can the Rockets do to stop that sort of height?
I mean, he's had so many easy ones because we haven't had backside help, and we are giving up so much size against him. He is absolutely a man mountain. But you can't defend him with one guy. You have to defend him as a unit, and we're not doing that right now. So I think that's the adjustment that we need to make, is if we're going to front, we need to know we've got backside help. Again, if we're going to three-quarter, that we are shrinking the lane and being able to close out. The main thing is, though, that you got to make him work defensively, and he's not. He's resting defensively. That's just making him so effective on the offensive end, because that's where all his energy is going.
So likely, you think that if likes of Leome and all the others get into him in attack, we can just stop him?
Absolutely, and it doesn't necessarily mean attacking him to try and score at the basket. Trying to draw him out away from the basket so other guys have opportunities to get to the rim, but forcing him to move his feet, sort of thing. If you watch, he's very static, and he's just a massive space eater. You need to kind of draw him out, get some space in behind, and then again, while he is flat-footed, go and attack him. That's
really interesting. So, also, if you look at it here, who surprised you the most in that first quarter, in that first half?
Baines, comes in and just shoots the absolute lights out when he comes in.
What a shooter, isn't he? What a shooter!
Brilliant stuff. But for me, the glue guys, Pinnock and Todawese, they're always in and about, and I think that's a real key thing for Rockets is how much they're kind of doing everything, getting on the boards, they're kind of being that connection, they're picking up the hardest assignments when they're on defense. And I think for Leicester, the attack mode mentality, of Leon Henry, of Lamin, is something that Rockets have really struggled with, and I think they need to do a better job of getting back in transition, and then, being able to deal with that issue.
So you're thinking we just took more energy from the Rockets then on the second half?
Absolutely, and it goes with communication. A shot goes up. If we're not getting that offensive rebound, we should be back. We should have numbers behind the ball. And there was towards the end of the second quarter there, he picks it up, by court to court sort of thing. He beats one guy, and he's literally going into our paint after about 3 dribbles. The rest of those guys should be sprinting back, getting below the line of the ball. Absolutely creating that wall, making sure that he can't get in there. As everybody else is filling down, it shouldn't be so easy for him to beat one guy and get straight into our lane. And I think if knowing Coach Keane, that's going to be something that he's definitely going to speak about. But it's bothering him inside. I
mean, you've been in many of those changing rooms, Danny. What do you think he's saying right now, Coach Keane? Give us a little insight.
He's going to be talking about communication, because it does sound very quiet on the defensive end, and I think he's going to be talking about composure. Some of the shot selection on offense has been,
not the best,
not ideal.
Not what was drawn up by.
No, it's just felt a bit rushed, and when we are composed, we're getting good looks. And I think that's the main thing. But communication on defense has been absolutely atrocious, and I have been in those changing rooms with him, and he is passionate about how you communicate with each other and how you do play together as a unit. So I think, again, how we're dealing with Williams inside and it's individual, he's not going to be liking that.
Oh, brilliant. And that's the first half roundup from Danny. Danny, also, as you're here, as many of our viewers at home have seen, that the GB basketball phenomenal last week.
Absolutely.
Beating France and then Germany as well. What does this mean now, the qualifications of Eurobasket? What does that mean for British basketball as a whole?
You know what? It's so important to recognise the coaching effort and the guys that played, but also the massive celebration that it actually made, for example, BBC Sports news bulletin.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, it was amazing.
And just to see the basketball community be so happy that's the case, sort of thing. We're kind of actually getting some exposure. I'm a PE teacher. Basketball is one of the most participated sports in this country. Every school should be running basketball. Do you know what I mean? I just think that having exposure of this stuff on the highest level is so important. And the next thing would be to make sure these guys, these role models, get into our schools, get into situations where they can get their names out. We can spread British basketball even more.
Inspire young people.
Absolutely.
As a teacher yourself,
absolutely.
Get in there. And that kind of leads on amazingly onto the next point, where do you think we need more of these, how do we get more youth players playing basketball? Like you say, maybe it's just getting these players like Luke Nelson to come into the local schools.
Absolutely, and it is difficult. For example, when you've got the guys that are playing overseas, for example, I get it's difficult, but the wonderful world, I'm a teacher, I've been teaching remotely now, which is the most frustrating thing in the world, but you can get guys in on Zoom calls, on Teams calls, that you can do different things now to make it accessible. You can get stuff that's pre-recorded, you know what I mean, and play that, and just kind of get those sorts of things out for the younger generation. Like I said, so many people play basketball. It's absolutely staggering the amount of people that play
a lot
basketball.
of people who don't understand basketball. Like, coming from myself from a football background, you don't understand how many people actually play basketball in the UK.
Absolutely, yeah. And so many people play it, and I just think it's having the right people in the clubs around the country, trying not to have too many clubs, etc., stuff like that. Have clubs that do things the right way, have the right people in charge doing these things, and then kind of getting that promotion, getting that aspiration up, getting that work ethic up, and understanding how the game's done, you know. And I've got to say, the job that Mark Stootzel did as head coach, I know Mark, he's an amazing person, and the job that he did as coach was just second to none.
That's really amazing stuff. I mean, it's unbelievable to watch. As a spectator of the basketball, you see it, you go, British basketball, fine, we're getting some motion, we're getting exposed like you said on BBC, next probably like Sky Sports BT, and it's just amazing movement, and that's where the young people will probably watch that and consume that sort of.
Absolutely.
And moving on now, you talk about the clubs doing more. JMA now, they are expanding the current successful under-19 program to under 12 to under 16 level as well.
Yeah.
As a PE teacher, what's that mean? Like, what do you think of the program, and what's that mean? Do you think other schools will do it, or?
I would like to think so, you know, and I would like to think that it's something that goes, not necessarily with basketball, whatever the sport is needed for that school in that moment. But the biggest thing is, and I was saying to Matt earlier about this, having context of what it takes to become a successful sports person. I think that's really huge. You have so many young people that say that they want to be a footballer, they want to be a basketball player, they want to be a rugby player. Do they know what it takes? And having a structure lower down for younger people kind of gives them that context, gives them that awareness. And I think again that is so important for young people to have that. And I think that's where it could be really valuable.
Well, this academy also, like you say, like being able to live a professional life. They get S&C coaching. They get 2 team training sessions a week. They get a lot of training as well throughout the week. And how important is it to have like a coach always there for you as a young athlete?
Yeah, I mean, I can go back to when I moved to Long Island when I was 19 years old, and I was maybe I was 203 pounds on my first weigh-in. I was an absolute string bean of a person. I didn't have that opportunity of S&C, and my first weight room, I couldn't straighten my arms for 2 days afterwards. And that's not even an exaggeration. I couldn't straighten my arms. That's how difficult I found it, because my body wasn't prepared. So having S&C, having a coach, having someone that knows what they're doing, is able to support you, and again, give you that context, give you that understanding, that learning, is so valuable. And young people need to understand that value, because if they want to go on and pursue a life in sport, they need to know what your body goes through and what it takes to get there.
They need to know how to fuel the body. That's something that's completely missed. It's like the dieting, the lifestyle of a professional athlete at the moment.
Absolutely.
Most people at my under 16 level don't understand that. And then being able to get into that early doors would be fantastic. And we would just see more and more British basketball players getting to the success of the qualifiers, and then who knows?
Absolutely.
We may be a success at Eurobasket and start to compete with other European nations.
And that'd just be fantastic. And again, like I said, it's really important now that we take the success of those guys on GB and really, really like celebrate it and get it out to younger players. And we should be having guys that they see the Miles Hessens, they see Luke Nelson, they see Dan Clark, Obi Soko, do you know what I mean? And they see these guys,
massive role models,
and they want to try and aspire and emulate those guys. They want to try and replicate what they do. They want to try and find out what their past did. Me and Dan Clark are the same age. We played on the same junior England team together. Dan was in Spain at 14 years old in a professional environment, working every single day. Do you know what I mean? And like, how many people know that? And I think it's important that people know that, and they understand, the sacrifices that you have to make to get there. And Dan is such a pinnacle of that, of what it takes to be a professional, basketball player.
Thank you ever so much, Danny. That wraps up our half-time show, everyone. Before we get back to the action for the second half, his head of community, Steph Johnson, and a video of what's been going on in the club recently in community.
Hi everyone, my name is Steph Johnson and I'm Director of Community Programmes at Reading Basketball Club. So this past year has been a really strange one for all our clubs, not being able to get out there and do some physical delivery with the kids. It's been really hard to not have that. So my role really over lockdown has been to try and make sure that we are providing a programme for the kids, and that's been adapting delivery, adapting games, coming up with new games that you can do in the kitchen. So what we've been doing for our community children is running Zoom sessions for them, weekly Zoom sessions for different age groups run by our coaches and our Division 1 men. Fun games, things they can do at home, not needing lots of equipment, not needing a massive space. So obviously huge adaptations to the games, but we found a way to stay engaged with them. We've also been running multi-sport sessions for our children with additional needs, SEN. It's been lovely to still be involved with them. It's been truly difficult to get back into their schools, even in the small pockets of lifted restrictions. So we've been really busy just trying to find ways to keep kids engaged. We've put a section on our website called Active in Lockdown, which gives them loads of resources, videos, ways they can stay active together over lockdown if they can't make the scheduled Zoom sessions. So really like to thank all our families who have stayed with us and been involved in the Zoom sessions and got their kids ready and their kits stuck in the kitchen with a ball. Thank you, because we will be back soon and teaching them face to face.
And here we go. Welcome back after the first ever half-time show with DC and Todd Linley. And welcome back in. 20 seconds gone. Leicester started with a 3, put themselves up 8. And DC, you must be tired. You've never worked so hard in the game for a long time.
I'm tired watching this.
Yep, you're tired watching it?
I would be getting in a huddle with my teammates right about now and saying, so we need to slow the pace down and kind of get it inside a little bit right now.
And that is exactly what's happened for Liam against Big Mo. And Liam gets a pair of free throws. Just short on the first one. Hopefully, Julie, you'll now be able to hear everything okay. As we're back. And Liam makes the second one. Okay. So 7-point deficit for the Rockets. 145 people sharing this moment with us. And Kane, Rockets out, ball pressure.
They'll be ready to rotate.
Yeah.
That's the one.
Good hands, Leon. Woof.
And that's lucky. That's a bailout there for the Rockets.
Yeah.
You know, Baines has got to be there a little bit sooner.
Right. Okay.
So we can execute now. Brilliant stuff.
Yeah.
Come right back to him.
Hines Leon looking at that little elbow jumper, steps back and misses it. Tolawase manhandled on the rebound, doesn't get anything called. And Martin Gale doing what Martin Gale does very well.
Got numbers.
Yeah, I mean, good
Great
follow
job.
there. Lots of bodies, lots of contact under the rim. And yeah.
And that all comes from Leon getting down the floor when Williams is still trailing, and that's what I was saying. We've got to get out and run a little bit more. Great hands there by Leon.
Yeah. Slightly broken defense, and Leon now playing against Big Mo. Steps back.
Take that all day.
Yeah, I mean, I think they must be listening to you, DC, because Leon stays in front of him, and then...
There you go.
Yeah.
Just got to be a bit more patient on the finish. Don't rush it.
Yeah, and it's tough to go over, 7-foot phone boxes, isn't it? And Coach King will be frustrated there. Tolawase slaps his leg. He's annoyed as well. He knows that wasn't a...
Look inside.
The scout is, you absolutely do not leave him go. Jazz Baines looks at another 3. It just comes out.
Oh.
Leicester get another one. They got a chance to go up by 10 as they lead by 8. And there we go again. Foul called. Leicester using Big Mo when he's in really well, DC.
Absolutely. We haven't figured it out just yet. When they're not in transition, they're going pick and roll or they're throwing it inside. And we just need to be a little bit more savvy as to what they're trying to do.
Yeah, and Mo misses that first one. You're right, you said before, Leicester leaving points there. That might be something that Rockets will be grateful of. They start to think about how they're going to get comeback here. Mr. Perlio with a huge rebound. Baines is in the corner, spotting up. And the ball goes out of bounds off Pinnock. Baines is waiting for a three in the corner. Reese just fumbled it.
Got to get a stop here.
Yeah. Out of bounds. Out of bounds by Leicester. And Lamin and coach Carl Brown is frustrated. And it's going to be Rockets ball. And let's see if we can see if we can see what actually happened on that one. So, opinions being shared by players, coaches, officials, everybody.
And I understand the frustration of Coach Brown there.
Yeah. And then Williams comes off for a three, misses it. Nice out of bounds. Rockets struggling at the moment just to get to some rhythm. And it's another foul.
On Leomi. Got to get your hands up. Got to get your hands up in the air. Use your chest to lean on him.
Coach Carl Brown willing his team on. Coach Keane as well. Thinking about their next move. What are they going to do? Third quarter. Two very different quarters so far. Goes into Big Mo. Spins in. Travel violation.
I think that's a bit of a make-up call from that foul just before that.
And Pinnock comes down at speed. Reverse it through Tolawase. Finds Baines. He finds a Showen who finds Tolawase.
Should be two.
Who just mans his way to the rim. Tolawase's such an explosive athlete as well. So difficult to stop. Rockets shave this to 6. Big Mo out of the lane, screening, finds Martin Gale.
Got to trade him on that. Can't shoot the gap on that.
Yep, he's out of bounds. Yeah, a few interesting in Division 1 as well, the quality now. We've got quality point guards, quality wings, really good quality bigs in Mo as well. Both teams are going to punish mistakes, but Leicester certainly with the Martin Gale and guys that have done such a great job in their careers, making a living beating teams.
Oh, trying to bait a call there.
Yeah, I think only James Harden does that, doesn't he?
Absolutely.
And Martin Gale left wide open.
Transition defense. We are very fortunate in the last couple of shots by him.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think one of the difficulties as well for defensive rebounding is going to be when you're smaller, as Rockets are, as the players are just trying to sort that out. And you know, this is a 2-3 possession game, DC, and yet it feels like the gap's bigger. So, why is that? What is it the players are they're obviously frustrated. Both teams neither in any rhythm yet, but what is it that the players are feeling at the moment when they're only down 6, right? So what's the frustration? Is it a performance thing, or what's your thinking?
There's a massive communication breakdown on defence. The amount of open shots that Leicester are getting right now, and they're probably kicking themselves thinking we could have really been turning the screw.
Yeah, right.
In this situation,
12, maybe,
absolutely, sort of thing. And I think that's why it feels like more they're executing and they're kind of getting what they want to get. They're doing what they want to do, whereas we seem to be struggling on the other end. On offense, we seem to not be able to get the shots we want to get, or we're taking rush shots, sort of thing. But it starts this end. It starts with the defense. You've got to communicate a little bit better. You've got to be a little bit more physical and a little bit smarter. And I think we're just making some silly mistakes, and unless they're the type of team they are that is just in attack mode constantly, they're going to make you pay.
Yeah, Yeah, and that's one of the things, isn't it, that Carl Brown's teams over the years have been known for. You said it in the early on, that they can be 20 up, 20 down, but they've got a way, they've got a DNA, they've got that's the way that they play. Coach will allow the players to talk in timeouts. You know, he's very open about listening to the senior guys and giving them maybe more rope than perhaps other coaches have given to the same sort of players. So you do get to live and die by that, and Leicester certainly high in the talent level, where at every spot they've got some really, really top level players, and here's one of them on the line now.
You know, and that's going to be a massive issue for Rockets. If Leicester start making their free throws, again, we're already in foul trouble.
Yeah.
4 fouls already. And again, 4-1 for the second quarter in a row, and that just kind of...
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and you see that just the finish at the end of that, the decision at the end of that, which is so tough at the speed they're going. And I think that's one of the things when you're watching the game, and when watch from up here, you forget that guy is 7 foot under the basket.
Absolutely.
This is not easy.
And a strong 7-footer as well.
I mean, look at that. As we say it, the guy who's 5 foot goes right over the top of him.
But he's a strong 5-footer.
Yeah, absolutely. Tolawese defending Leon with a big matchup. Good help side then. That's what you were talking about before, DC.
Dragged him out now.
Yeah, seeing Jazz Baines. Yeah, rushed Gale off the shot, and he still makes it. But you'd be happier with that, right?
Absolutely. Better possession. If you can string those defensive possessions along, they're not going to carry on making those shots. But again, we've allowed Martin so many open shots before that moment.
Yeah.
He's eventually going to make them.
Absolutely.
Great job.
Baines on the buzzer for Williams. Comes out. Who comes up with it? Leicester Warriors. And that's not a wise thing to do, as Tolawese is moved away by Reese, and Lamin. I think we can see Lamin was frustrated there. Leon saying to him, "Look, bud, we're up by 8. They're in team fouls, and double foul." And a technical foul. So if we make sense of that somehow.
This is where we do need VAR.
Yeah. Leicester Warriors talking, listening. And we've got Lamin. And we've got a coach warning as well. So we've got everyone involved at the moment. DC, I hope you're keeping track of everything.
No, this is my kind of game.
This is
why I miss playing.
So we've got the referees sorting out.
This is where I'd be in a huddle right now with my guys.
Yeah, right here.
And I'd be saying I'm going to kind of make it a bit more polite right now.
Yeah, good
but
is the correct thing to say.
I'm saying to them, I'm not having anybody come here and try and do this to us. They're trying to punk us right now.
Yeah.
We don't allow that. We're at home. We're going to absolutely attack teams. We're not going to be on the back foot.
Yeah, and Lamin pleading his case with his coach.
And this is fine. Rocket seems to be over it now. They're focusing on the next day. They're still in the moment of that. We need to take advantage and carry on attacking.
Yeah. And Ashoan, who's, for his standards, had a quiet first half, 9 points. And we've got now everyone settling down. Carl Pearce has gone over to the bench to towel himself off, and now Lamin gets a free throw. So 2 free throws for Lamin. Missed the second one, and there is.
This is where momentum can come and go. Good possession.
Yeah.
It's going to be something like on offense or defense, either way right here.
Yeah.
Can kind of set you off on a run. A massive pause in the game.
Yeah.
How do we do that? Turnover. If we can score on this.
Yeah, and right out of the gate, good call, DC. And yeah, look, give us a shout now on the stream if you're following the Warriors. You know, if that's your team of choice. If you're a Rockets fan, if you're just a general basketball fan, give us a shout out. Tell us what you think. A halftime show and the things that we're trying to do here should be good. As Mo Williams goes to the 1980s with that sky hook.
It's a great move.
Which we love to see. And yeah, I was just trying to find out what happened then, and it was called out of bounds by accident by a referee.
Okay.
So, and he said, my bad. So,
but by the way, though, this is going to be the one time I do compliment a ref.
Yeah, absolutely.
As a player, you love that. You love the fact that they can be like, yeah, you know what, I'm not perfect. I do make mistakes. Yep. That one's on me.
Okay, here we go.
Miscommunication on the offense.
Be interesting to see now. Pinnock goes in and lofts it up and gets nothing. But Tolawezi nearly come out of nowhere. Pinnock on good matchups now for Rockets in the defense.
Good backside help, good. Oh my. Whew.
And and we talked about that, didn't we? And that's just in the moment. Jazz comes over, just gets his hand in there and immediately calls a foul. And this is what you were talking about in I think the second quarter, Danny, where you're saying, you know, you have to know that you're in team fouls because you're going to give Big Mo 2 free throws.
Absolutely. And it is tough. I think that's a very soft call for that to be happening. But again, you've got to be extra careful. You need to be there in the space, not on the body, and I think that's really, really important. Yeah.
And we've also got another shout-out, Danny, as Mo makes his pair from Coach Andrea Norton. She says a great big shout-out to Danny Carter on the mic as well.
Appreciate it. Great job, knocked
Baines
that down.
Wide open and nothing but strings it and brings the Rockets within 5. As Martin Gale says, hey, come on guys, you can't let him have that. Baines one-on-one defense is good. And that is
gotta let that one go and trust that the help's behind you. But again, was the communication there that there's help?
Yeah, and
great job by O'Showen though, getting in 2 feet into the paint, drawing the defense in, and then kicking it out to Jazz, who's been doing a great job on the perimeter today.
Yeah, absolutely, and making a real good connection between Williams and Baines as well. You know, both of them talented perimeter scorers, finding each other, but Rockets defense will be frustrated there where Pearson has just gone from his own half and got all the way to the rim.
Absolutely.
So, you know.
And Rockets right now, no Pinnock, no Tolawezi. Kind of need Dixon, O'Showen to kind of make sure that they're the glue guys.
Yep, and in comes Chuck, comes into the game. And O'Showen with the matchup, stands up the defender.
Great job,
Foul.
Great job.
Clothesline foul there. And you'll see the one-on-one move goes up and gets whacked round the throat by Lamin.
But that's a poor foul to give away. He's heading towards the baseline. You've already got 2 defenders there already. Yep. For him to have a whack at him again, that's a lack of discipline by Lamin.
Yeah. Rockets get the ball in bounds. Leome looking. Warriors switch it really well. Good defense away from the ball. Baines gets another one up and shoots it over the 7-foot Mo Williams. Baines single-handedly dragging the offense of the Rockets back in. Pass overcooked.
There we go.
Francis.
Can we get another score?
Chucks it to Duru. Chucks it to Chuck. See what I've done there? And in goes Leome and misses the chippy layup.
Tough one. We've got to get another stop here, though. That's all right. We've done some good things now.
Good
things in a row.
4-point game.
Bench is into it.
Yeah. Dixon in for defense and immediately causes a turnover.
Momentum, you can feel it in the gym now. Momentum starting to switch.
Yeah.
Down to 2 position game. Timeout by Coach Brown.
Yeah, good timeout we think, Danny.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
very
good one
clever.
to change the momentum. And it's interesting to see. We talk about basketball being a game like so few other games where the run can make you feel really down about the way you're playing, and then can also suddenly spark you into looking like a different team. So is that something that as a player, you're managing that? Is that just a moment? Is it a self-confidence thing? Is this something that the Rockets can talk about, or is it something that Leicester Warriors now, the bodies, the teams in their huddles look completely different? You see the close-up of Rockets, they're all listening, they're all together, they've touched fives, and then when we've looked at the Warriors, they're kind of not sure what to do. So is that something that you think is good timeout, right?
Absolutely, it's good timeout because one, obviously they're clawing the scoreboard, but it's offense that's generated the energy for Rockets.
Yeah.
And it's given them life on the defensive ends. Now, we look at Leicester, they kind of thrown everything at it, and they look a little bit deflated right now. They're arguing amongst themselves.
Yeah.
You can see Pearson. He's always the voice of reason in that group, sort of thing. So he's probably settling the troops right now, ready to come out for the next battle. Rockets, if they execute out this time out, game's completely in their hands.
Yeah. And interesting, isn't it? Where Rockets looked as though they were going to run out with this one in the first quarter. Leicester come flying back. Then look like Leicester's going to run this one out. Rockets come back again. Trail by 4 with 2:40 to go. 170 people sharing the moment with us as well. Great to see, especially in these moments we don't get a lot of live stuff to go to, and we can't wait to see everyone back and cheering and getting together and enjoying live sport again.
Absolutely.
Open with straight away looking for the stagger. Ashowan gets the penetration, kicks it out. Baines shorts on that one.
Right, stop here. That's where we need to be. Leicester, you're looking for a kind of a kill shot, kind of deflate Rockets a little bit.
Yeah.
Good chase by Dixon.
Yeah.
Great job by Leone.
Leone with hands on, and look out. Pearson sneaks one in. Yeah, and great possession by Pearson there.
Absolutely. Made up for his own mistake, and I think that's a real like
double dribble
leadership moment there.
Oh, we haven't seen double dribble for a while, have we?
I didn't know there was a rule anymore.
Yeah, it's a new one. They brought it back. They dusted it off. So LC Fox says go Warriors.
Bringing some more size in with Hagriff returning to the game.
Cash versus Diabetes says Rockets about to turn it up. Richard Toast has always enjoyed the Reading coverage. Great close game. Leicester look a much better team in recent weeks. I think, you're not the only one saying that. Dixon attacking Haggis. Oh, Dixon gets the foul, switches to the lefty, and cashes it on the run.
And that right there, I don't think people understand how difficult this is. Look at this.
Unbelievably difficult.
Great read by Dixon. He's got the bigger guy on him, the slower guy on him.
Yeah.
Great recogniser of the mismatch and really made him pay there.
Yeah, absolutely. Dixon is going to go to the line, and great stuff. So we're quiet here as as Dixon goes to make the free throw, we've got a sub has to be made.
I think Sharon struggled with the contact or something there, maybe.
Yeah, I think you got it.
They're going to make a 1 point game if this goes in.
Dixon.
1 point game on our hands.
Okay. Wow. So here we go. And
great energy by Dixon in this game right now.
Yeah, and I think credit to Dixon and Chuck Duru comes in and just gets his body in the way.
Absolutely.
Makes stuff happen. Yeah, got his hand on another one.
Chuck needs to be ready here. Chuck needs to be ready here.
Mo with a one, unbelievable.
But that one right there, on the pass, Chuck needs to get there on the baseline side.
Yeah.
Great job by Pinnock.
Yeah, kicks it Dixon with a little open one-hander, and he floats it in from the baseline. Dixon with beautiful touch in this quarter. And Dave Owen, always great to read your comments. That means a lot to us.
And Danny
had your website up.
Great job by Reece.
Right before the game.
Great job by Reece.
Yeah, now look where Mo's caught the ball.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Great closeout.
Pinnock is absolutely...
Oh.
Yeah, well, we've got...
That's a deflator.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know what? I think Coach won't be too unhappy with that, because you've got... It's one of those situations where Rockets did everything really well defensively, just ball didn't fall to them. Baines is looking at another three from the top. He liked the look of that one, and Leon cleans up the mess.
Leon.
Dave Owen is the stat man of British basketball, insight analyst for Basketball England, and can quote you anything from any era at any time. And Pinnock, just as Rockets get back into this at 1 down, Pinnock fouls a wide open Martin Gale and picks up his 4th foul. So Pinnock will leave the game, and back into the game comes a Showen. So we've got Francis and Duru, Baines, Dixon and Williams.
See if Rockets can get anything here. 4.5 left on the clock at the end of these free throws.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's definitely the pace on the floor and the perimeter shooting enough to get a really good-looking shot at the end.
And if I'm anyone, I'm giving it to Dixon.
Yeah, big shout. I think we're going to see a Showen with the ball going at 300 mile an hour downhill.
So if I'm Dixon, I'm already down the other end.
Yeah, you need a head start. And Martin makes 2 out of 3. Chuck snatches a rebound, but gives it away straight away. Gets another rebound. Whoa. Well, Chuck got away with one there.
Absolutely.
End of the quarter.
But did a great job afterwards. Turnover, bad mistake, but great job bigging up afterwards and claiming the rebound the second time.
Yeah, so we've talked before. We talked at the end of the first. Rockets had 35 points. They were on for 100 and whatever it was we said at the time. And since then, they've scored 37 in another 20 minutes of basketball. So have you seen anything that Leicester have done defensively that's particularly different? Is it just, have they switched stuff? Have they changed defences? Is it just a mentality thing? Because certainly this is what we've seen Leicester do in many other games before, and get themselves into the 4th with a 3-point lead.
Absolutely, and I think Leicester probably thought they were playing a little bit soft at the start of the game.
Okay,
they've definitely stepped up the physicality. Rockets aren't able to just set those screens, and guys to be able to just cut and run off screens sort of thing. They're doing a good job of bumping cutters, stuff like that.
Yeah,
it's what Rockets need to do is be patient and make Leicester work over multiple actions. Multiple screens, multiple moving the ball multiple times, and then kind of getting them off their spots, opening up those seams, and then getting your guys to attack.
And it's great to have you here, DC, for stuff like that, especially from the player perspective. And at halftime as well, you did hear from Steph Johnson, who is my wife and also the brains of the operation. I don't want you to comment on that, thank you, Danny. But
don't need to.
She is the community manager, and so some amazing stuff going on, and plan to go on with the 1,000 Smiles project that's starting to gather some real momentum. And thank you to all the sponsors and supporters of that, and also thank you to the Great Outdoor Gym Company, who are brilliant stream sponsors for us. You see their logo when we're on the stream, and great big thank you to them for making this kind of stuff possible. And we had the women's game first as well. Just really great to get good quality coverage, and just a huge thank you to the people like this. And you can see on the screen now the type of stuff they're doing. And I said on the last game, how you can charge your phone whilst exercising is beyond me. But I think it's something that my son would just love.
We are mere pawns in this world.
Yeah, we are there to produce energy for others, right?
Yeah. I can tell you how you should be on the backside of when you throw it into Mo Williams. This, however, is the moon to me.
Yes, absolutely. Okay, back to the action.
Final stretch now.
Yeah, here we go. And be interesting if we... I was just thinking that Williams now is going to start to smell that this game's close enough, and is this something he can do something about?
Great job by Dixon.
Yeah, again, coach, we're now seeing who's going to come up with that one.
Looks like that should be Rockets ball.
Incorrect, DC, incorrect. So 1 point game.
I would never have complained at that call either.
Yeah, interestingly, it lasted 25 seconds for Mo Williams not to be in the game there.
And body language of Kane King, I can imagine he's frustrated. He set a long time in that third quarter, starts the fourth, 25 seconds, and he's back out.
Absolutely. And Peter Tubb, the legendary table official, has just jumped in and said, great coverage and commentating, guys. I really miss this. And we'll hopefully see you soon. What about this then, DC? Into the game, young Sam Grant for the fourth quarter.
Good, big up here, use your length. And that's where he just needs to move his feet a little bit earlier, just big up after. The guy's going to turn straight into him because he hasn't moved his feet. He's got caught underneath the guy as he's gone up for that layer, so his arms just come down. Yeah. And I think it's Truckee, is it the correct pronunciation? Turiki.
Yeah.
It's very Turiki to say.
That's excellent, by the way.
I'm a dad now, so.
Okay, so interesting that Sam Grant came in and Leicester chose to go right at him. Good challenge for Sam.
Absolutely. And again, like I said, 2 years ago, that would have been a whole lot worse. Yeah. Right there, he's battling, he's fighting. That's the growth and toughness that Sam has shown. And also the fact that he can get into that next play mentality as well.
Yeah, so we're now going with Sam as the 3 with a show.
You got to throw it up to him. Liam can go up and get that.
11 seconds.
Great job.
Foul by Williams, and in comes Kane King, I believe, as we see Dixon going for another set of free throws. And if he makes the pair, Rockets will have tied the game. That was on Williams. That was his second foul. Dixon for the first.
Great job.
Nothing but net and a little bit of iron. But other than that, nothing.
Brilliant stuff. And what an impact Ben's made since he's come into the game.
Good beard picture as well. And he makes them both. And it's exhausting. Rockets have tied it up. So here we go. Rockets in that little bit of show and zone press.
Sam wants to maybe back off, give a half a step there. Good adjustment by Grant.
On Pearson. So we've got to check the matchups here. We've got Sam on Pearson. And Pearson throws it away, and you're going to credit Sam for the defense, Danny.
I said it, he made the adjustment right there. Gave himself an extra half a step. He knows Pearson's quicker than him.
Yeah.
He's got great length. Use that to his advantage.
Yeah.
And maybe his shoes put him off, I don't know.
He put his head down and went, oh, pink shoes.
Pearson came up rubbing his eyes.
There is a guy with pink shoes being guided by another guy in pink shoes. Is this how matchups work nowadays?
Notice that he's got those since he isn't my teammate anymore.
Okay. All right, now into 9 minutes to go. And zone showed by Leicester Warriors. So let's see what Rockets answer have got here.
Patience here. Just want to get a reversal. One more to Sam.
Showen fancies a look at that one. Doesn't get it.
One more. Stretch it out slightly more. See if we can get some penetration.
Interesting to see if Leicester stay in that zone. Leicester still looking at Big Mo.
Great job.
And he's he's thrown it out of bounds. Now that you won't see again.
No.
A guy with hands as big as Mo's, as you see in the replay.
The next one's going to be a big slammer jammer.
Yeah. So rare. So Leicester stay in the zone, DC. Rockets had a good look at a 3 that they just missed.
Sticking the ball too much. Want to reverse it a little bit more.
Goes into Chuck. The show finds the seam.
Good job.
Foul called. No basket. Again, coaches making their next move. Coach Brown saying to Coach Keane, right, we're going to show you some zone. What you got?
It's always one of my favourite things when the coaches go back down their bench and complaining to about all the guys on the floor. It's always been one of my favourite things.
Yeah, as a fellow bench warmer, I used to get told off quite a lot. Leon with a little one. And guess what, Danny? Rockets have got the lead in a strange game. And welcome back, Mark Hurwood.
Great job.
To the game. You've joined us at the right time.
Sam Grant.
Yeah, good post defense. Now can Chuck
Don't
keep
help.
Pearson
Good.
up?
Great job.
Get out of here,
Yes,
says Leon.
Sam.
Chuck's off on the run, and great pass, and Leon and Sammy tips it in. Was that Leon's or Sam's?
Either way, I think we've gotten away with one there.
Yeah. Keep an eye on the coaches now. Rockets just gone 4 up, but a bit of momentum swing. Can they? And
Leon's got to get there.
I mean, just no home defense whatsoever. So we're going to look at O'Showen going at 150 mile an hour.
And this is something that Rockets, they've done a great job defending together, defending as a unit. Now, you're getting down to crunch time, with the score's going to be changing.
Yeah.
Okay. You can't start getting individual with your assignments.
Yeah.
You need to defend as a group, and that's what's got you back to having the lead.
Yeah, and just seeing the amount of sweat that has come on the floor. O'Showen has been flying around the place, and
great stand by Martin Gale.
Yeah, absolutely. Really brave as well. And now Rockets up by 2. Sam picks up, forces a lot. Job. Yeah, good to see.
Now he needs to know his assignment here. Kane's not a big offensive guy, and that's the problem. Back up. Kane's a pass-first guy. Give yourself that extra space, and where he made the adjustment earlier on Pearson, he's allowed too much space for Kane to attack there between the two of them.
Yeah, I love what you're saying, DC, because it's about your first position on defence, isn't it, rather than your energy and your effort. And Sam just picks up a couple of fouls. Oh,
absolutely, and he's committing to defend there. He really is trying. It's he's just not being smart enough with how he defends.
And the tough thing is, you give up free throws if you like when that, and the coach is doing a great job now. Coach Keane just talking to him, just getting him ready. He's got a lot of basketball ahead of him, this young man. Got to keep his head up, if that's the right thing to say. As Leicester make 1 from the line, and they trail by 1. Into the game is Jazz Baines. So we've got this pretty electrifying backcourt duo.
Leicester have missed 12 free throws now.
Yeah.
17 for 29, and they're down 1.
Yeah. Okay, reversal through Dixon. Baines gets to the rim and makes it, and 1 for Baines.
What a performance today.
Some sweet jazz on the baseline, Danny. Some sweet jazz.
No, I heard you the first time.
The problem is with both dads now, and the quality of dad gag wasn't very good before.
I guarantee there's some people in the audience loving this.
Yeah, Josh Thorne just jumping in on the comments there saying, get Dixon or maybe Williams guarding the ball handler for Leicester, so there's no breakdowns early on. Baines looked down the eye of that one, didn't he? Absolutely. Looks like a shooter on the line, and good to see him attacking the basket as well.
2-possession game.
Yeah, I mean, Rockets have just built a lead, and this is where, again, defensively, Leon much better on that possession as well, but Dixon gets lost.
And the last 3 times, we've allowed Kane King to just take a couple of dribbles and get past. Back up.
Yeah.
Allow him to stay on the perimeter and keep your defense in tight. We end up playing close-out basketball, and Martin's going to take advantage of that every single day.
Yeah.
Quickly.
Leon with the turnaround over Mo Williams. 2-point game. 185 people on the view. So now we've got a much better. Gale pumps it up. That time, air ball from Martin.
Reese coming back in.
Yeah, Reese in on 4 fouls, but he's going to come in for Dixon, I think, and he's going to come in, and good minutes by Dixon, Danny.
Absolutely.
You've been impressed there. Reese comes in with 6 to go. Rockets lead by 2.
And that's something right there as well, that young players should be watching that. Didn't have much of an impact in the first quarter.
Yeah.
Didn't do too much. However, mentality of just coming into the second half and making an impact has been brilliant.
Yeah. Oh, Reese comes in, picks it up and lays it in. I don't know what the word is for that. It's just broken play. The ball just coming to you. It's the poacher sort of instinct, right?
Absolutely. You either have a nose for stuff like that or you don't.
Tolawase now on Gale. I mean, this is
great defense.
Yeah.
You've got to go now.
Oh,
too
Williams.
slow. Too slow. You've got to go and shrink the gap there.
Tolawase looking to see if he can get a quick post up.
You've got to see him here. Got to see him backsided.
Oh,
great start.
Move. Yeah, great find by
Leon.
Leon.
Offense.
Yeah. Kojo Sako, sorry for
looks like Rockets moving back into a zone.
You're absolutely right. Yeah, interesting. Good spot, DC. Rockets showing that little zone. Can they keep...
show on too far of a gap. Oh, that's a let-off. That is a let-off. Showan's come way too high there to leave an open shot for Gale.
Yeah, Coach Carl Brown, his team's down 4, but they've got a couple of free throws, and Mo's been really good on the line. A round of applause for Martin, from his teammates.
It's definitely not the last we've seen of Martin.
No. As Mo sinks another free throw.
Great touch for a big guy.
Yeah, absolutely. It's worked incredibly hard for all his points as well.
Absolutely.
Hasn't had many easy ones since the first. And there you go, 2 from 2. That's what you need from your 7-footer. So we're 2-point game.
Tolawase again, good matchup. See if we can find him.
Yeah, he likes that. Showan going to create something one-on-one. Good matchup against Kane King. He's got the ball screen. Yeah, ran out of ideas there.
Absolutely. And I think this is the problem when you keep the ball on one side of the floor, you limit yourself.
Yeah, and trying to get Mo into the ball screen with Liam, and Showan rejected it. If you get to see that, he rejected the screen and didn't get anything better out of it. So need good defense now into the last 4 minutes. Reese now into control Pearson.
Perfect, the catch is fine there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Got to get on the backside.
Pearson throws it up.
Travel.
Oh,
surely.
Again, that's the kind of broken one. Tied game going into the last 4 minutes. Both coaches with 2 timeouts.
This is what you're here to see.
Leicester with 1 team foul to give. Rockets in the penalty. Francis with the ball. Williams turned over by Leon. 4 minutes to go. And Rockets just give up an easy deuce.
Too nonchalant with the ball there. Far too passive.
Yeah, absolutely. And Kane King put it down. So here we go. Okay. And we've got foul called on Reese Pinnock.
I think that's him done.
That is his 5th. So in comes Dixon. Pinnock will be frustrated with that.
Again, I think that's a tough one.
Yeah, foul off the ball. Yeah. And ball's in play again. And here we go with Warriors now up by 2. Small margins. Tolawase.
Great job. What was a hook there?
No, yeah, I mean...
I think the refs have missed that one.
Dixon kicks it up.
4-point game to Leicester now.
Baines.
Good
Francis
job.
goes at Mo.
Good
Foul
job.
called. 2 shots. Coach Carl Brown frustrated, saying he was straight up, ref. Referee Tim Brown said, no, you were not. And you didn't establish position. That's 2 shots. So Leon will take 2 from the line to just try and trim this deficit. Blake Bowman cheering on his old Derby buddy, Kane.
What an exciting young player that guy is.
Yeah, absolutely. Blake having a standout year in Division 1.
I think that right now this is the that final segment of the end game's coming up right now.
Yeah.
How's Leicester going to execute?
What a rebound! What a rebound by O'Shawn Williams over the 7-footer.
But he was 6'10". He's only 6'10", isn't he? Because he looked like...
He's not even 5'10".
Oh my goodness, transition defense, guys.
Yeah.
Great defense.
And Coach Keane will be watching the film and he'll be frustrated about the ease of which that Leicester have managed to get some. Rockets trimmed it, and suddenly it's 3 points down on 2 easy layups in the last couple of minutes. Williams looking to tie it from 3, and bingo! Williams.
We have a game on our hands.
Yeah, and here's Lamin
Great
in.
defense.
So can they get matched up now outside of this? Good one-on-one perimeter defense by Rockets.
Keep him there.
Game tied, 2 minutes.
Baines is the key here.
And you're right, DC, and he came off too much.
Too much.
And Henry puts Leicester up 3. Tolawese thought about it. Finds Dixon. Williams loses him, and bingo! Williams to answer it and tie it back up into the last 2 minutes.
Defense has gone out the window. Let's have a shootout, everyone.
Absolutely. We're into the last minute 40. 194 of you will be loving this.
There's Lamin. But again, we have not adjusted to this all game. If you're Rockets, you know he's catching the ball. He is looking to attack.
Yeah, tough matchup as well, coming downhill at you. Well,
4th there.
O'Shawn Williams has really lit this up in the last moment with 2 big threes.
The Rockets know as well, anything from here out moving in, they're shooting free throws.
Yeah, both teams now reaching the penalty, and Lamin goes for 2 shots.
So these are the situations that my old coach, Coach Peichel, back at Stony Brook sort of thing, he'd say that we're going to see who's got some onions in their salad right now.
And as Lamin this is the second one, and Leon clears it up. Coach Titmus says transition D, both teams is deciding this. So as Dixon fumbles it at the halfway line, and Lamin puts
just
a bit
go past him. Just you're playing with him.
Just not what's needed.
Great defense.
And
great rebound.
Thank goodness for
and we're going the other way.
Oh, referee, it's
Leomi. Great rebound.
It's up by 1 minute and 8 to go. Lots of assignments missed, but Mark, who cares? It's a great ball game.
Mark,
Rockets are up by 1.
Mark, stop trying to kill the mood.
Leon Henry throwing it into Big Mo.
Fine right there. Fine right there. Force him into being the jump shooter.
Dixon, Leon.
Fine right there. Now
Pearson kicks it out.
That's the one.
Repositions and foul called.
That is one of the ones right there. Mr. Tolawese, what patience you've had not to react. And then that is a complete emotional reaction by the referee.
200 people tuning in for a great game, and unfortunately Tolawese gets called for his 5th and final foul.
Hopefully we see Samuel come back in here.
Yeah, well, let's see. Now this is where you've got to be clever as a player, Dan. You've got to stand up. There you go.
Yeah.
Okay, you called that,
I'd already be on the floor.
210 of you tuning in at exactly the right time. As Maria says, free throws win games.
Martin's not going to be fazed by this. I'd be very shocked if he missed these.
Yeah, Martin hasn't missed a free throw since 1998 or something, has he? Such a great British talent who's been BBL Europe, NBL1, graced national teams. And that's 2, so
one more for the and then it should be one more after for the technical. Oh, and Chuck Duru's come in.
So Warriors up by 1, and the free throw. Who was the technical on, DC? I didn't see that.
Coach Keane.
Okay.
And it's one of the calmest he's been all day. So I can imagine he's seething inside right now.
So Rockets down 2, 45 seconds to go, and Martin.
And this is one of those things that when you're officiating, players and coaches are emotional.
Yeah.
They're super emotional when it's a close end game.
Yeah.
Understand that. Let's not try to take all the emotion out of the game.
Rockets 3 down. Baines with Williams.
Good ball.
Both teams in the team fouls. Williams gets hit. Dixon for 3 to tie it. Misses. Yeah, jump ball called. Warriors ball on the jump.
Got to extend here.
Now 3 down. Rockets trail by 3. Time out to Coach Carl Brown. So he'll advance the ball, but only give himself 14 seconds on the shot clock, DC, if he does advance it. So let's see what happens here.
I mean, if I'm him, I'm trying not to do that and hoping I get fouled early with only 24 seconds left on the clock. So it'd be interesting to see what he does.
Yeah, really great time, isn't it?
It looks like he's extending it.
Let's have a look.
It looks like he's extending it. So Rockets are going to need to play this 14 seconds out.
Okay, so
I'm shocked he's done that.
Interesting one, because what that means now, if he had taken the ball in his own backcourt, there would have been a full 24 second shot clock. As he's decided to advance the ball, then he'll only have 14 seconds. So if Leicester score, they're in a good place.
Absolutely,
and could be a 2-possession game. So Rockets get a stop here. If they can get a stop, they've got a chance to tie it. So right now, advantage to Warriors. And Warriors, again, scored over 100 points. So Rockets coaching group will be looking hard at their defense, especially against teams in this division now that are scoring from all sorts of places on the floor. Very perimeter orientated, and Big Mo makes such a difference for this Leicester team.
Absolutely.
Can't play him with just single coverage now. I don't think there's a team in the league that will guard him with single coverage.
Absolutely not.
So it'd be interesting to see this Leicester team. Very dangerous to play. So Rockets trail by 3. Yeah, and in it goes to Mo. And fouled
by Leon, it looks like. And
so
I don't quite understand.
Yeah, we don't know why he's fouled that, because he had, still would have been 10 seconds on the clock. Oh, tough one, isn't it? Tough one. Decisions.
Absolutely.
So, Leicester could have held it for 10 seconds, and now he's fouled the best free throw shooter in the game and made it a 2-possession play. So Coach Keane will no doubt have a timeout, I would have thought, after this one. He's made them both. No timeout.
Okay.
So 20 seconds
Gotta
to
go quickly.
Yeah, they're going to need. Chuck's got it. Williams for 3. Missed it. 11 seconds to go. Foul called.
Game management has really let the Rockets down at the end here. Yeah,
Mark Harewood, Warriors a lot better than Mo. Yeah, you're absolutely right. And right now, with 9 seconds to go, this is looking very much like Leicester are going to walk out of here with a win, and a really, really tough performance by this Warriors team. Made easier by some lapses of effort, maybe DC defensively, that we can. Giving up maybe 105 points is going to be a tough one. 104.
Absolutely.
Ball there. And he's got to get a shot off. And missed the dunk. 2 seconds.
I don't really understand the final moment right there, but
yeah. And DC, strange environment at the end of the game, with a lot of talking points to go through, a lot of stuff from both coaches, both teams, We talked a lot about Mo before the game. What do you think his impact was on the game?
You know what? Someone like him, he gives that team such great balance.
Yeah.
For such a guard-orientated, perimeter-orientated team, they do such a wonderful job of having that balance. Some of a release valve, they can go inside.
Yeah.
They need to slow the game down. He's the guy you want to go to.
Yeah.
And I think he just gives them that that extra dynamic which they've probably been lacking in previous years.
Yeah, and for Rockets, they come up, they're scoring nearly 100 points, and they're coming up, they're on the back of a loss there. So what's the sort of things that they're going to be taking away from this?
I think, for the first, third and fourth quarter, there's a lot of positives that you can take away from this. There's some really good stuff that they've done. Second quarter was a real struggle for the Rockets. Yeah, and I think how long they're taking to make adjustments on the floor. You can't always be your coach trying to sort that stuff out.
Okay,
it has to be players in huddles on the floor. Right, this is what we're going to do. Let's run this next time down. Yeah. This is what we can do to mix it up. When so-and-so gets the ball, let's play it this way. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
Just being a bit more self-sustaining as a player and as a group.
And
I think that's something that Alan will, potentially, talk about with the guys. Are you guys feeling the ebb and flow of the game? Are you guys able to adjust to that as things going on? Because today the evidence would be that that's not the case in the second quarter.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that brings us nearly to the end of our NBL live coverage, and it's as the teams are saying goodbye and saying thank you, and the coaches are just debriefing with each other and going through the stats and stuff like that. There's an awful lot of learning post game for both teams, and really big games coming up as well for these teams with still a long way to go in this season, and it just remains for us to say thank you to nearly over 220 people in the end that chimed in and they talked about it, and they came onto YouTube and shared it with us. So we want to say a big thank you to you, DC. Great to have you up here next to us as well, and we'll look forward to seeing a bit more of you in the future. And we want to say thanks to Todd for his halftime show as well, and all the enjoyment that hopefully that would have brought, and obviously thanks to the sponsors and to both teams and the coaches and all the volunteers that make these games work, and particularly the Rockets for hosting so brilliantly this event, which is, we know, not easy to do at the moment. So great big thanks to Ben and Sam and the team that make that possible too. So
yeah, absolutely.
A big thank you from us, and we're going to bid farewell to you now from JMA in Reading, and goodbye from the Rocket Stream team and from NBL Live. Thank you for watching.
Hi everyone, I'm joined by Jazz Baines here for his second game. Yeah, it's just literally coming off, it's turning off as soon as I start. It's back on now. Mic issue. It'll turn off, so I was like, this is Jazz. Throw it.
One, two, two. Here we go. Catch it. Ready?
Ooh. That's a slip. Bear with, just... No, don't worry about it. Cool. That was the highlights of the last game. I'm now joined by Jazz Baines from the Rockets, about off the bench with a fantastic performance. Jazz, where do you think that game got away from you?
I think we did a great job in the first quarter coming out and playing our game and having our identity. I think we slipped up a little bit in the second quarter where we lost our position because we didn't play how we want to play. We like to play with pace, and we were picking up fouls, and we were caught in foul trouble. And honestly, we played good in the third and the fourth. It slipped up in the second quarter. We lost our identity, and we just had to get it back.
And how are you looking to move on from this into towards your next game versus the Kestrels?
Obviously, the Kestrels are a good team, top of the table. We did a good job against them. I came in and I watched the game, and we did a good job and in the first half. And if we keep up that intensity, I think we have a good chance against them. But we just have to build on our identity during this week's practice, and we should be one of the top teams in the league.
That's really good. Thank you, Jazz. We good? Just 2 questions.
Recycled aerosol cans.
We've done a lot in the last 10 years, but the best is yet to come. Our gyms will support ocean cleanups and tree planting programs to protect the environment.
The Great Outdoor Gym Company aims to be the greenest and greatest gym chain in the world.
Let's make a difference.
I'm in.
I'm in.
I'm in.
I'm in.